Some of the best golfers in the world have experienced monumental breakdowns that have changed the course of their careers forever. Here are some of golf's greatest chokes and collapses of all time. Phil Mickelson, 2006 U.S. Open. Mickelson started his career using an aggressive approach in majors, but he changed his approach, cut down the aggressive play, and started making some better decisions on the course. Best decision of his career because it got him into the 2006 U.S. Open at Winged Foot. That was Mickelson's fourth career major and the third in a row. He almost clinched it, but for some reason, Mickelson dialed up the aggression. He couldn't find his driver through the final round, and on number 17, he hit his ball into a trash can. Mickelson didn't take a breather. He kept hitting it, and by the time he got to the final hole, his decision-making deserted him. On the 18th tee, Mickelson had a one-stroke lead. He pulled a driver again despite hitting only 2 fairways all day. His shot failed badly. The drive hit the roof of a hospitality tent and bounced into the spectator area. Instead of advancing the ball for a short distance to get it back in the fairway, where he could try to make par the hard way or bogey to earn a playoff, Mickelson tried to slice under and around the tree branches. He failed. The ball hit a tree branch, stopping just 25 yards away from him. Mickelson didn't slam on the brakes to make his next decision well. He tried another big slice, only to plug it in a back bunker. Not even Mickelson's legendary short game skills could save him in that spot. Mickelson double bogeyed, finishing 1 shot out of a playoff. After the play, Mickelson called himself an idiot. And we can't find any reason to disagree with him. Our next golfer should have won a major championship that has eluded him for a long time, but he ruined it with a collapse. Scott Hoch, 1989 Masters. Hoch should have won the 1989 Masters, but he didn't. Hoch remained an excellent player for a long time, but he just couldn't win a major championship. At number 17, Hoch was leading Nick Faldo by 1. He missed a short par putt and came to a tie. Hoch's score matched Faldo's on number 18, and they went to a sudden death playoff. On the first hole of the playoff, Faldo struggled to a bogey 5, and all that was left for Hoch to win was a birdie putt. He could 2-putt and still win the Masters. But Hoch choked. He 3-putted. His birdie putt rolled about 2.5 feet past the cup. For the last putt, Hoch spent almost 2 minutes looking at the ball from side to side, thinking about every possible way he could hit the putt. When Hoch stepped up to hit the putt, he backed off, unable to decide how he wanted to play it. Hoch finally hit the putt and botched it. He kept the playoff alive with a comebacker, but he lost the Masters when Faldo sank a 25-footer on the next hole. Hoch made a golf choke, overanalyzing a defining shot that couldn't have taken much effort. Our next golfer is a nice nerdy guy with nerves of steel, but that didn't prevent him from bowing to the pressure that comes with playing at Augusta National. Jordan Spieth, 2016 Masters.
Right into Race Creek.
It's getting up.
Again.
The 12th hole at Augusta National is difficult, but for Jordan Spieth, things appear to be going really well. He was cruising to his second Masters title, about to earn another green jacket. Spieth birdied the last 4 holes of the front 9, having a 5-stroke lead with 9 holes left to play. The collapse began soon after this strong start. Spieth bogeyed holes 10 and 11. Things didn't appear to be worrying him at first, but then disaster struck. Spieth slammed 2 balls into the water on the par 3 12th and wound up with a quadruple bogey 7. Spieth lost 3 shots in 3 holes, dropped from a 5-stroke lead to 3 strokes behind, and lost by 2 strokes. Spieth lost his chance to win the 2016 Masters thanks to this meltdown. However, he regained his confidence and won the British Open the following year. Our next golf choke happened during a British Open, years before Jordan Spieth won in 2017. Tom Watson, 2009 British Open. Watson was 60 years old while he was playing in this tournament. Had he won, it would have gone down in golf history as one of the most remarkable feats ever. Watson hadn't won a major in more than 20 years and would have been the oldest champion ever. We wished Watson had won. If he did, he wouldn't have made this list. The old-timer hit a poor shot at the worst possible moment. Watson needed a par on the last hole to win, but he missed a short par putt on the 72nd hole with one of the worst shots the sport has ever seen. It didn't even look like a golf motion. Watson didn't get back into the game. He played poorly in the playoffs, losing the claret jug to Stewart Cink. Our next choke also messed things up and never got back on track till the end of the game. It's sad what your nerves can do to you when you need them the most. Rory McIlroy, 2011 Masters. Winning a Masters tournament is every golfer's dream. Rory McIlroy is a world-class player, but the Masters title is one major golf championship he is yet to win. In the 2011 Masters, McIlroy began the final round with a solid 4-stroke lead, but he ran out of steam, and his gameplay fell apart at the beginning of the 10th hole. McIlroy finished with the worst possible result, an 80 and 15th place. His drive on number 10 ended up between Augusta National's two cabins, deep in the woods, a part of the course that hadn't made it to our TV screens before. That was the kicker. McIlroy triple bogeyed that hole, bogeyed the 11th, and made a double bogey on the 12th hole. The Masters tournament is no joke. Skills alone hardly ever suffice. The Masters is the crowning achievement of every golfer's career. Our next golf choke comes from another attempt to earn the famous green jacket at Augusta National. Greg Norman, 1996 Masters. Norman won the British Open twice, and he has the most top 5 finishes at the Masters without a win. Norman really wanted to don the green jacket, but he couldn't get his nerves to agree with him. Norman almost made his dream come true once. His hero, Jack Nicklaus, has 6 jackets, beating Norman with a stroke for one of them. At the 1996 Masters, Norman finally had his best chance yet. He entered the final round with a 6-shot lead over his closest contender, Nick Faldo. On his way to the lead, he shot a course record 63, but when it really mattered, Norman turned his 6-shot lead into a deficit and threw away his chance. His game was off while Faldo was on fire. Nick Faldo was on his way to a 67. Norman was on his way to 2 double bogeys and 5 bogeys. His fate was sealed on number 12 when he put his tee shot into the water. Norman never became a strong contender for the Masters again. After the match, he said, "I made a lot of mistakes today. I put all the blame on myself. You pay the price. That's all there is to it," Norman said. "All these hiccups I have, they must be for a reason. All this is just a test. I just don't know what the test is yet." Our next choke comes from a well-known golfer with personal troubles, Dustin Johnson, 2010 U.S. Open. Dustin had a 3-stroke lead over Graham McDowell that disappeared like the wind in no time. Somehow, he triple bogeyed the 2nd hole, and everything went down from there. He bogeyed the next hole, and it got worse. Dustin finally signed for an 11 over par 82 and called it a day. Our next golf choke is probably the greatest golf collapse of all time. Arnold Palmer, 1966 U.S. Open. Palmer is regarded as the man who brought golf to the masses, with the greatest choke the game has ever seen. The great Jack Nicklaus was once asked about this choke, and he said, "How can you ever let that happen?" Palmer stepped up to the 10th tee with a 7-shot lead over his contender Billy Casper. Palmer should have gone home with the championship, but since he never believed in playing prevent defense, Palmer let the Open slip through his hands. Palmer maintained a 6-shot lead with 6 holes left to play, and a 5-shot lead with 4 holes, until he decided to play for birdie on the par 3 15th. Palmer's ambitious shot landed in the sand, and Casper responded with a 20-foot birdie, shrinking his deficit to 3. It was at this moment that Palmer came undone. Palmer scrambled to make a bogey, and Casper whittled the lead down to 1 with a 13-footer for birdie. Years after the event, Casper said, "I'd never ever seen him feel the pressure like he felt the pressure then. He couldn't make a swing." Palmer bogeyed the 17th hole and lost his 7-stroke lead. He tied with Casper on the 18th, which led to an 18-hole playoff the next day. In the playoff, Palmer let a lead slip away. He carried a 2-shot lead into the back 9 of the 18-hole playoff, but Casper picked up 6 shots down the stretch, just like Palmer had picked up 7 the day before. And it was all over. Palmer never won another major championship again, probably still haunted by the one that got away. Be sure to check out more fabulous videos on Golf Plus. See you there!